Alright, here with a VOD review of a Strongholds live fire for Dus10Short. We're going to take a look at this. It was a very narrow win up against some higher diamond players. We're going to take a look and see what he did right, what he did wrong, and let's do it.
Strongholds.
And I guess right off the bat, I'm going to pause this and we're going to talk a little bit in attack maps before we get going about the ideas of Strongholds. So, in Strongholds, obviously a team scores when they have two Strongholds. So you have A, you have B, you are scoring, and then if you have all three Strongholds, you are scoring twice as fast. So there are two ways that people typically play Strongholds. The first way that you see a lot in matchmaking or lower levels is, we cap A, we cap B, and we've got a guy setting here, or somewhere in this area. We've got maybe a guy down here at B pillars watching. We've maybe got a guy over here or something, and the idea is that we are trying to hold these two caps, prevent the other team from coming. We're forcing them to all spawn here or here, and they come out, and then we've got a crossfire here. We got a cross here, which probably isn't as effective, and maybe should move this guy more over into, say, this area so that they can watch people coming from fields. And the idea basically is to cover all the different angles that the other team can get to your strongholds and work together as a team. And against undisciplined teams, you pick them off one-on-one. Somebody comes, they die. Somebody comes here, they die. Maybe one gets through, and then you've got your team collapsing and they kill him. And then you just continue that cycle over and over again. But this only works really well in lower level games. In higher level games, I would say the idea to set up works for a little bit, but then the other team, especially if they're working together, will eventually catch on to your setup, and maybe they send a guy this way, and then they send another one this way. They come in down here, maybe they come in over here, and basically the idea is their team finds a weakness in your setup, they wipe a guy out, and then they flip the stronghold to their side, and now they got a two cap, and now you're scrambling to get control back. So the other idea of strongholds is to push your advantages, and what that means is, hey, we just wiped out two people, and we've got A and B, and maybe the other team has C, maybe they have to have C. C's always captured. So the other team has C, and we're 4 up, they're only 2 up, and maybe they're out of position because maybe they're trying to come here, or maybe they're both here. We come, maybe not everyone, but we come and collapse on C, killed these guys. Now, we cap C. In the meantime, the other guys are spawning, say, A or over here, and they're trying to get into A, and they start capping A, but they're not 4 up yet, and since they're not, we are quick to turn around. We go as fast as possible, wipe them out again, and then we keep the advantage. And now we're getting triple cap time, and now these two guys spawn at C, and they try to do it, and so they start again, but we continue to just roll at them and wipe them out before they get a cap. The other option, I guess, would be to have a guy C, if we've wiped them all 4 quickly, and we have all 4 strongholds ourselves, have a guy A, have one B, And this guy, it doesn't really matter. He can set C or he can set probably C. And then they're all just forced to spawn here. This is really the only spawn that they have open. And since they're all spawning in this area, as soon as they're all 4 up, we just obliterate them. This guy steps out to here, maybe obliterates them, maybe this guy rolls up to here. And as they get wiped out, we have to run back to our positions to make them spawn in the same area again and just continue to wipe them out. So, 2 ways to play. You'll see either. So, if you're playing an undisciplined team, it's probably good to just hold your 2 cap and let them come in suicide as one at a time comes to try to cap the stronghold. The other way, if you're a more cohesive team, you don't want to let them get 4 up. You want to push your advantages and wipe them out over and over again as they are spawning up. So let's take a look and see what happens in this match. Right. Taking a couple seconds to load up. And we're all so
hold more zones.
Coming up sandbags, off start. Sure, commit to dive there. Either way, it's good to take a peek at that angle and then come back. You see a teammate gets wiped out, another teammate gets wiped out. You see a guy, sandbags, start capping B. So it's kind of tricky to cap B here because you know there was a guy at sandbags at any second. Once he hears you capping B, he can come back and start working on you. But you get the kill, you get the cap. I don't generally like sitting in the middle of B, but in this case, it works out because you're close to the center and the grenades that are coming in are flying over your head as opposed to flying right into you. If you have a repulsor, you can sit back there and watch as the grenades come and try to repulse them back, but in this case, good job of getting the cap. So here, to me, my teammates are already in B, so I don't actually hop in with him. I would probably just sit over at nest box and watch sandbags to make sure that no one's coming there. So also in the middle of B there, not a very covered area. I would set behind B to prevent them from just getting line of sight on you with no cover in sight. So all 3 teammates are out B, and I'm going to pause here for just a second and bring up tac maps again. Let's go back just a couple seconds and see if we can get to this point again.
Stronghold Alpha is ours.
Maybe we're bounced just a little bit too far. Oh, I'm the wrong person. Alright, let's try this again.
Stronghold Alpha is ours. Enemy team score.
There we go. Okay, so right here is what we're talking about. So right now, you have 3 teammates in B. So 1, 2, and again, they're not exactly in these positions, but you've got a guy in the middle of B. He's going to die. There's no way he's going to live through this. He's going to die. You've got 3 teammates there. You are here. I would say you are in basically the perfect spot now, because all of your teammates being grouped up like this, even though they're going to kill this guy, are in danger. We also have A at this point, so we're good on that. We have A. We're losing B, but obviously we're going to kill this guy. You are in the perfect spot. Now, you're going to run out B here, which isn't good. And the reason that this isn't good is, if we take a look at the other team, as you see, there's a guy in S bridge, there's the guy dying in the middle of B, and there's another guy coming in S bridge, and the other guy's dead. So, they have 1 guy dead, they have 1 guy right here, and they have another guy right here. This team is going to just start either shooting or flooding this way. So they're either going to start running to B to try to recap it. This guy's going to respawn somewhere over in here probably. You are here. It's more specifically right here, but you get to here. You have the cross to your teammates. You are blocking off this line of sight, so no one can come through here without taking damage from you, which means that no one can come through here. Now, I will say, you don't know this guy's here, so he could very well be coming this way, and because of that, you have to kind of play close to where you can run, or go back this way, or you can come down this way, but if you're somewhere in this area, he can't see you immediately coming from top mid, because this box is in the way. But even if he does see you, he's going to shoot before he gets to you, and you can again go forward towards your team. You can kind of play towards B pillars, or you can run and get down in this area. But the idea is, I want you to be in an area where you can prevent people from reaching your team. So you are playing support in this point, and these guys are just going to fly out here, and they're both going to die if you just stay where you're at. But because you come forward, now they have lines of sight on not only your team, but you as well. So everyone in this area is going to die, and they're most likely going to cap B. I guess theoretically maybe your team does wipe them out, but higher level games, like, you need to set here. You don't need to shoot and move forward. Your team's all here. You don't need to come be in the exact same spot as they are. So let's see what happens. Make it hit by a sniper. You do kill the guy. You also see another sniper shot coming from that way, so I wouldn't have got MB. I do appreciate that you got behind this cover though, so at least that part is good, but I probably would have slid behind B, or again just stayed up at sandbags. Again, we have the strongholds. You don't really need to set in the stronghold. I would just kind of peek around these corners, which you're doing at the moment, so it's all worked out okay, but again, I think I would have set up at sandbags, at least for a bit, until things kind of start spreading out. So teammate dies in A, another teammate dies at C somewhere. One teammate does get a kill, and now you got like a one-on-one in A. So the guy's running away. You don't really know that, but the reason he's running away, if you look at the timer, OB's coming up, so he's setting up for overshield. Capping the stronghold, which is okay, but I would suggest also trying to get into a position where you can kind of look at it. Another couple things that I've noticed a few times watching your gameplay, you jump a whole lot. I had to break myself habit of this because it's like an old Halo 3 thing where everybody just jumps and jumps. I would suggest just don't jump at all in battles, maybe on the last shot, but generally speaking, just try not to jump at all. You'll win way more gunfights that way. The other thing is, don't desperate the grenades, like, unless you're in like a melee trade and you want to just throw a grenade off the wall and hope that you are going to live. I would just shoot my gun and hope for the best.
We've captured Bravo.
Your team
They got an OV
scored.
chasing your teammate, bottom
You're
mid,
quite
they
late
kill
for
him.
that.
Teammate just spawned at B, so you know B's pretty safe at the moment, although they're running out of A. Get behind you guys. And
Bravo is ours.
fly top front B and die. The only thing I would have done differently is I just try not to move forward during gunfights. Like, stay back and wait. Shoot from where you're at. The more you move forward, the more you're putting yourself at risk. Good. So, I know this doesn't work out for you in the end, but by setting here and capping, this guy just flies through here without even noticing you, and you punch him in the back, which is great. Unfortunately, there's just so much more pressure here, and there wasn't much you could do. So, nothing really to say here other than it's good sneaky play here, but as soon as I got shot, I'd just be trying to fly out here and get out of the way, or maybe fly down here and try to get out of the way. Again, kind of a tough scenario, but be more prone to trying to play your life. However, you're
Killing
getting collapsed on.
spree.
I guess the other
S7
idea is
sniper
to
inbound.
where you cap in
Killing
too early
spree.
because your entire team's dead.
Double
Should you
kill.
maybe be trying to focus
S7
on living a
sniper
little bit more?
available.
Right. So flying up sneaky here. You see a guy. Again, tossing the grenades. You do get the kill, and maybe the grenade helped you a little bit. If the guy hasn't hit me yet, and I'm like super down in shots, I normally don't throw the grenades early. I just kind of roll with it. So you did get a kill here, but if we take a look back at what's going on right after this fight, so excellent kill, beat the heat wave guy. Probably would have went and picked up the heat wave too, by the way.
Your team's
Right about here. So you have a guy right in front of you, and he is just in the wide open. You can just lay into this guy, and if he turns to shoot at you, you can just immediately duck back behind cover at C. Instead, you jump down, you do kill him, but there's another guy here, and he's going to kill you. So your teammate's in A. One of them is dead. Your other teammate is at sandbags. Well, obviously your teammate's fighting someone, and your other teammate's dead. So, at this very moment, and let's just double check. Yeah, you have C, which you're holding. You have A, which your teammate's fighting, and 1v1 in. There's two guys in B. So, C is yours. A is yours, but it's kind of in this PIV area where somebody's fighting over it, and we'll demonstrate this. So you got two guys here, just fighting to the death. May the best man win. You've got yourself right here on this bridge, but in a good area of the bridge because you can always just jump back behind here. And you've got a guy right here. This guy's dead. This guy's dead. This guy's dead. And this guy just spawned back here, which you don't see him yet, so nothing to worry about there. But from here, you can just literally laser this guy. And by the way, they have B. You can laser this guy. He is either going to start sprinting forward, or he's going to try to drop back behind here, or he's going to turn and try to shoot back at you. You're going to get at least 2 shots in before he can shoot back at you, so you can probably win this fight straight up. However, let's say he's real quick, he turns and starts shooting at you. You can just back up to here, and this fight goes one way or the other. I don't care. Let's say they trade out. So now you have A, and A's open. You also have C. Either you kill this guy or you don't. Doesn't really matter. If you're here, they're not going to spawn here. So they're not going to spawn in this area. You may get unlucky and they spawn here. More than likely, depending on what happens with your teammate, either if he wins this fight, they're probably not going to spawn here either, and so they're either all going to continue to spawn back at B, or they're going to spawn somewhere in this area. So, if you jump out here, everything that we just said goes away. So, even if you kill this guy, which by the way, you kill him, great, except for the second guy is going to come and kill you, and they're going to keep B, but because you leave here, now you've opened up all of these spawns, which means that all that work we just did to take C, this guy's just going to hop in it, and guess what? Now they have C. And disaster scenario, your teammate loses this fight. Now they have A, and you're in a trip cap. Whereas if you just stay here and you kill this guy or you don't, doesn't really matter. You keep C. They can't just immediately come and cap it, or you're standing here and you're listening, the guy spawns here, he comes to start to cap it, maybe he sees you, maybe he doesn't. If he starts to cap you, you can just slide around back tower, come back, punch him in the back or whatever, and you maintain C. So the idea is don't give up control, don't give up the power position just, you know, to chase a kill. Stop moving forward so much on your fights and focus on, you know, how many people you got alive versus how many people are down. But more important than that, just how can I use my position to make sure that we're not throwing the game? Because again, disaster is you could jump out here, you kill this guy, the other guy comes and cleats you up, they remain in B, your teammate dies, they cap A, and then this other guy spawns, and guess what? He caps A, and maybe, or caps C, maybe he spawns over here with his teammate, and maybe your teammates spawn over here and they maintain C. But you just went from a double cap to either trip cap in the other direction or at least a double cap in their direction because you left this area. Whereas you could kill this guy, now he's down for 10 seconds. Maybe his teammate finds out that he dies and he comes and tries to fight you, but by the time he runs all the way up through here and tries to fight you, or if he just, you know, gets in B and tries to fight you this way, you can always just back up. You have all the space in the world that you need to back up and no risk of dying. Cool, so you run down, also throw the grenade, but you do get the kill, that's fine. You're in B, you don't know the guy's behind you. I wonder if he just ran away. I guess your teammate killed him. Okay, whatever. And now they're all spawning at C because you left C. And your teammate left A, so they're spawning at A.
Captured Charlie.
So they got splits, 3 at C. Okay, I see. The guy ran from back B into A. Alright. Capping A, but Obi's up. I will probably turn my attention towards Obi right now. I do like the shot and backup. I do like the no scope as well. Here are your half shields. You gotta stop going forward. Again, back up really well. And then come just 1 second too early. So everything in this scenario here I really like, except for the main end. So
Attack.
you cap A, which is good. You see all of your teammates are flying to Obi, so even if you don't go and fight Obi with him, which again, I probably just stood sandbags and stared at Obi here, but you're putting pressure elsewhere on the map while your teammates are handling Obi, so that's fine. You see this guy, you get shot at, you immediately drop down, which is awesome, because that's really high level play. Fog of war, you're breaking the line of sight and you're controlling the engagement. He throws a grenade as reaction because you drop down, he's just trying to clean up a kill, you jump back up and immediately no scope him, which is awesome. Right here, if you slide out like this, you have to get over to this wall. Like, you slide out and you look for a shot, but as soon as you get shot, you have to be behind this wall because you're half shields right now. If he comes out, you're gonna die. Unless you get another no scope, which I don't think you do. However, once again, play it really well. Slide out and then duck right behind cover. This is like really high level play. Now you also should see your teammates in line of sight and should kill this guy. Well, he gets out as well. But right here, you know they're all coming from back B. You gotta imagine somebody's coming into garage. If you just stay right where you're at, you're completely safe. But you come a little bit too early, miss a no-scope, and beat down. And that part's going to happen, but I think you could have played that a little bit better. With that said, because you got the melee trade, your teammate saved A. Now they're flipping C. You see all of your teammates are at B and A. You come back to A, which I do like. Okay. Again, a little quick on the grenades, but you do get the trade, so all good.
You're rather terrifying with that thing. Stronghold Bravo is ours.
Right,
Your
running up
team
sandbags here, grab the mangler.
Shot caller.
substitute for hot metal.
You know, killers, see your teammate fighting. I just switched to BR and kill him, but whatever, you kill him with nuclear, all good. Alright. So, you are using cover here, but I think you're a little too far out. So, there's a lot of space. I literally just hug the pillar completely. And if you do that, then you can jiggle around and see where he's at. And kind of immediately dip back in if he comes out flying like he did. That being said, you did at least use the cover, not that bad, and also your teammate killed him, and then your teammate snipes another guy, which is great. But yeah, try to hug the cover more tightly. Alright, so again, one teammate's at C, guy at A behind you, which is unfortunate. It's your teammate's fault for being at C, given Uva just spawned at A, so
capture Charlie.
kind of tough. They spawn behind you, and they take A.
Your
Teammate's
power
fighting
items
at OV,
are
dies.
ready for pickup.
Teammate dies at B. Oh, nope, your teammate got a kill at B, sorry. You just saw a grenade come from sandbags. Once you see that, you gotta be ready for this fight. Teammate just spawned at B too, so you know they're coming from sandbags, but you also hear them capping C, and you can see it on the indicator. I would just say, yeah, just try to get out of the B pillars area, which you do. Unfortunately, your teammate loses Piv at A, and now you're just kind of in the scramble mode, and OB comes behind you. Unlucky.
Burst trajectory accurately placed.
Alright, nice way to dip out of the fight, get a couple shots in, dip out. Your teammate should be able to come here, you know, as you get your shields, you come in, yeah, you guys kill him. And you just get a really unlucky grenade, which is just unfortunate. Hopefully your team wins this up.
I see headshots in your
again,
future.
being in, well, I just grabbed the sniper and got out, so all good. Team's really spread out here, not great in a scenario where they have people up, but looks like they were like 3 down, so it's all gonna work out. You just kind of need to hold this area. I wouldn't really be looking bottom mid, I'd mainly be focusing on the A side, since that's where they have a stronghold. Also, just a real quick tip, which again I think will help solve a lot of the issues in your game. So you have C, you're here, your teammate just died here, and I believe your other teammate's somewhere in this area, not sure exactly, but once again, they have A, well, we'll use blue for them right now. Because they have A and because you have B and C, you've got to know that danger is coming from these directions. And maybe here, which you were looking at a second ago, but the idea is you're in an area now where all the danger is coming directly at you. Their objective is to either run to this stronghold or run to this one. Almost always the team is going to pick this middle stronghold to get to. So because of that, you got to expect guys are going to be coming out here. And if one guy comes here and you got a sniper and you lay him out, that's excellent. But if 2 guys or 3 guys come here, you're dead immediately. However, if you are up in nest, maybe you're right here peeking out, maybe right here peeking out, maybe behind this box, or again, my favorite spot is kind of just be behind B. You can see this. If anybody comes flying out here, they're not even going to look at you. They're just going to go immediately into here. Or if they do come looking out, then you have the ability to kind of play around this cylinder and stay alive. Hop in B, run back out, etc. You also got access to spikes, so you can spike sandbags, you can spike garage. You have a lot more power back here, or even like ducking around these areas than you do in this open spot. So just a little too much standing. Again, they get out into B because they were coming from A, and you also see a guys coming from sandbag. So just being in the spot you were at is tough. Teammate does manage to kill the guy. You get the assist, which is good. You spawned at C, so you know pressure's not at C just yet. You see the OV coming up. You do a slide off, which is fine.
Overshield. Available.
He's dead. Alright, this is all fine. I know that you died, I know your teammates died, but it's a team fight for OV. Your team doesn't win OV, so it all works out.
Please retain control.
Real quick tip. When you know there's a guy here, throw a grenade off this spot, or even in the middle of this, just up high, and it's going to land directly where he's at. So just try to bank off this wall, high on the wall, and it will land on the other side. From either direction, too. Either way, he's dead. Okay, guy at sandbags. You can skip the clamber there if you crouch jump, but all good. A little weak on the mechanics. Try to either clamber it or just stand in the spot and kill him and then jump. Like, don't do it all at once. You don't have to move forward as you're fighting. Cool. Again, a little too much forward movement. I think just holding position more would help, but team got a double out of it, triple out of it, and then dies. But teammates now captain C. So same kind of scenario. You have A, your team is capping C. The other team has B, so they're likely to spawn in B, but they could also spawn in A. Because of that, I don't encourage this kind of straightforward movement. I would have hopped up into nest and just waited to see where they're at. But let's see what happens. You get bodied and you die immediately. So it happens. Now they're capping A. Teammate also got a snipe.
We've captured Alpha.
And
great.
Yeah.
Your team scored.
Cool. Spawn in A, cap A. Yeah, hang around that pillar there just to protect yourself some. Okay. Slide it out. So one quick thing I want to mention here. Right at this spot, you know there's a guy in middle B, and the reason you do is because of this icon. This AI is always going to point at where the player's standing at in the stronghold, so as soon as you see this, and you see this guy, you need to dip. And just immediately drop back down, otherwise you're going to die. Maybe you can sit here and fight this guy one-on-one, but you do know there's a second guy here. And you played it pretty well. It all worked out, so no complaints.
Bravo is ours.
Again, really hard to cap from middle B, but you made it work. Teammates are capping C. You should know pressure's coming from A. You also know there's a guy in B. You see a guy at sandbag. I think you thought you had a spike, but either way you killed him, so no complaints on that end.
Overshield available.
So you have BC here. You spawn in A, which means the other team's pushing really hard on the other side of the map. Capping is fine here. You do see a guy at OV. You also just saw him running back towards Sneaky.
Double kill.
Okay. This is all fine. Just switch to the VR faster and you single-handedly take down the OV there, but you get the assist out of it, so it works out either way.
We have captured Charlie.
Okay. So they're capping A, they're capping C, which means the other team is completely spread out. One way or the other, there is a weakness. However, your teammate died in A. I believe another teammate went to C and died, and you were kind of in no man's land in the middle of B. So just make a quicker decision to go to A or C and try to do it on the edges of the map as opposed to running through the middle. Not much to say there. Kind of a terrible spawn and just kind of a terrible life, but sometimes that happens. It's part of the game. Either way, you spawn back B, you have C. Your teammates are fighting really far up in A, so I assume they're going to spawn in C, or they're capping C, which they are. Because of that, though, you've got 3 people going to A. Yep, going to sandbags and kind of cutting off the line of sight there is good. Probably would have just stuck at sandbags or get back B here. Wouldn't stand in the middle of B. Teammate just lost a rough hit in A, which is unfortunate. So Yeah, you really got to be watching scoreboard sides. You saw that guy drop there. You've got a teammate with you though. You should feel pretty strong.
Your team scored.
And you do. You see, oh, he's coming up. Probably would have played for it, but
Spike obtained.
The enemy has
it's fine. You have
captured
teammates
Bravo.
going towards it. Looks like they're
This zone
fighting, and you
belongs
do
to
work
us.
your way back around it.
Power
Around
items
to it.
up for
As
grabs.
soon as they're dead, though, you need to be hopping in C. Like you're right next to C. You could have got it for free there, and then obviously a guy is in A now. But if I was that close to it, I either hop in or at least peek around to see if there's anybody there. And then just tried the no scope and
The
missed.
enemy has
That's gonna
captured
happen
Charlie.
Enemy
somehow.
team
I think
scored.
your other teammate went to C, which is fine. Your teammate's got OB at A.
Nearing victory.
We're capping B as well. Everything's looking pretty good at this point. Teammates going
We've captured Bravo.
The
to fight the guy
enemy
at
has
C,
captured
which is
Charlie.
fine. Again, right now the other team also knows you are in B because your AI is here, so just try not to fight out of B because it gives your location away. Instead, stand behind B, and you could probably turn both of these players. You might kill one, maybe kill both, but let's see. Now you're a little bit late because you know the guy just dropped in the middle. Still fighting this guy at the pillar. He's doing a good job of staying behind it. Your teammate does kill him though. Now your teammates
Bravo is ours.
are
Enemy team scored.
just running
Double
randomly.
kill.
Spawn at A, you have A.
You're
Nice
quite
clean
lethal.
up there. Your teammate dies at C. Everybody else is dead. This is kind of a tough scenario because you're getting close to the end of the game. You have to think of what to do. I do like at least trying to get to a covered area, but yeah, you just it kind of swung out a little bit too far. So you just kind of got to stay close to the pillar there. It's really the only option that you have. Your teammate should kill that guy. Again, this scenario, you have two teammates in B. You know that. You spawned in A, which you have. So just going to sandbags and again watching their cross here to make sure no one gets to them for free, and then if anybody comes behind you at A, you can run towards your teammates or run back in garage and re-engage as you get your shields. But you come to help clean up, and man, would this fight not look a lot better if you were at sandbags just drilling this guy. Either way, kill him, but you're really exposed there. You gotta get back. You do, which is good. Yeah, just chill out around in this area. Maybe peek back up here and get some shots in, which you kind of do. A little late though.
Overshield inbound.
Okay. It's kind of just a tough scenario where you got two guys who don't really know which one to focus on. It happens.
Overshield available.
Your team scoring.
Alright, spawn at C. Try to cap C. Teammate gets that guy. All good.
have
Teammate's flying to B,
captured
which is
Charlie.
good. Probably would have just stood on the bridge since the other two teammates were in front of me, so that you could watch over them. But
Double kill.
team wipe, no complaints, and that should be the game.
Bravo is ours.
Your team scored.
Probably would have just stood at B there to prevent them from potentially spawning on it. But
Victory.
good job. Great game.